Hello, YouTube. Hebro77 here again. This time, instead of a Mandela effect, I have something that just might very well debunk the Mandela effect, and it has to do with Oscar Mayer. Remember how everyone's saying Oscar Mayer is spelled Meyer? Well, I gotta say, that something about that just sounds strange to me because I can clearly remember the song in my head as being a little kid and growing up. That's how I learned how to spell Oscar Mayer was through that song. So what we're gonna do is we'll do a little experiment here. Let's sing the Oscar Mayer theme song. You ready? My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer. Oscar Mayer has a way with Bollnga. And that's how I learned how to spell baloney. Now you count the A's. Now let's sing it the way you guys seem to remember it. Are you ready? My baloney has a first name, it's Oscar. My baloney has a second name, it's Meyer. Does that sound right to you? It doesn't sound right to me. Why would there be two E's in Meyer? Why would it say Oscar with an A in there and that E down below? It just doesn't sound right. The jingle doesn't sound right when you put the E in there. I mean, you got to consider that when you're thinking about this whole Oscar Mayer name change business. The other thing is the Popeye Brutus thing. Who is Popeye's arch enemy? I can remember being a little kid and watching Popeye cartoons my whole life. And I used to draw Popeye all the time, and it would make me upset when people would call him Brutus. I would always then correct them. It's not Brutus, it's Bluto. Bluto is the name of the guy. He was the name of the bad guy in the cartoons. He was the name of the bad guy in the movie. Now, I don't know anything about the comic book or comic strip. It might have been called Brutus then, and I've heard it said Brutus. And like I said, I remember being a little kid and being upset when people would say Brutus. Go, it's not Brutus, it's Bluto, because I can remember the same Brutus at that time, and at that time, I always remembered it as Bluto. And the other thing is, I have a Popeye action figure here. I have a. As you can see, both arms have tattoos on them, not just one, and it's always been that way. For me, it has. For me, it has. Now, I've drawn Popeye, oh gosh, I don't know, dozens of times, and I know, and if you look on the back here, the back of the package clearly says Bluto, and that's how I always remember him, as Bluto. Thumbs down if you disagree with me, thumbs up if you agree with me on these 2 points. As I mentioned before, there are some Mandela effects that have freaked me out, like the Ford logo and Mark McGuire's name. We'll take a look at it now. As you can see, it's Mick G. Wire. And I always remembered it as McGuire with Guire with a Q. Guire. McGuire with a Q. Some people remember it Guire, Guire. But I remember, that's what I remember. McGuire, Guire. Now, A lot of people are going to disagree with me on that one, but that is kind of a Mandela effect that kind of bothers me a little bit. And, you know, there are other things, but I just wanted to throw that out at you. Also, I've just noticed this may or may not be a Mandela effect, but if you look at Star Trek, you see how the A just kind of looks weird. And I understand what they tried to do here. They tried to make it look like a, going through. But if you look at this Star Trek, it looks right. But of course, this is next generation Star Trek, so I don't know. Anyway, leave the comments down below. If you remember, Oscar Mayer had a first name, Oscar. Oscar Mayer had a last name, Mayer. Because that's the way I remember it. And if you think that that's a Mandela effect, then thumbs up it if you've always remembered that. If I'm saying it wrong, thumbs down it. Okay? That's all I have for right now. This is Hebrew77 saying, good night, everybody, and take care of yourselves out there.